I feel the cool breeze, it's such a lovely tease.
Welcome to our Posca paint party, and we've got something so cool planned for you today. But first, let me introduce, I'm Maria, and this is Drew Brophy. And Drew is going to guide you all today to paint one of his most iconic pieces of art that he did back in 2006. This is a print of it. It's called Sunrise. And one of you lucky people are going to win this print of Sunrise, and Drew will sign it. But also, we are going to do what we always do. We give away a box of paint pens to one lucky winner every paint party, thanks to Posca.
Yeah.
All right, take it from here, Drew.
All right. So, welcome everybody. I'm really happy that we really kind of have this figured out now in thinking of good projects that we can be doing. And I thought which one would be awesome is Sunrise. Now, for those of you that don't know, Sunrise has been one of my most successful paintings. And the reason it was one of my most successful paintings is because it was inspired by a real event. And when you guys are thinking about the stuff that you like to paint, try to do the things that you love. For me, that was surfing, and I love waves and I love nature. And so Sunrise was inspired by being on a surf trip in South Africa. And just to tell you a quick story, just to set the tone for the whole lesson, is I dreamed of going to South Africa and surfing this place called Jeffreys Bay. And it's cold there when the waves are good. So I went in our summertime, which was their winter, and I'd get in my suit, my wetsuit, and I'd wake up early every morning. And South Africa is at the tip of Africa in the Southern Hemisphere. And it's so dark. It was so crazy dark. And I'd wake up the earliest, and I wanted to be the first guy out, and it would still be dark out. And I'd have my wetsuit on, and I was freezing to death. And so let me put Sunrise on there so you can really see it and think about it while I tell the story. And as I'm sitting there freezing on the beach using my surfboard to block the wind, I could hear the waves crashing, but I couldn't see them. And all I could see were the stars. And there were so many stars. It was like the most brilliant starry sky that I'd ever seen. And I was just mesmerized by it because it was almost like I didn't exist. It was so black out, and all I could see were these stars and this sound of the waves. And it was almost like I was in the stars. And as I'm sitting there freezing, I'm thinking, gosh, the light should be coming, the light should be coming. And I'm looking out over the horizon, and all of a sudden I see a little glimpse of blue light. And in that very second, that glimpse turned into a giant wave of light that shot across the sky and erased the stars. And what was crazy is when it erased the stars, it was just like this big wave, you know, kind of like I have in the sky there. And I could instantly see the wonderful waves at Jeffreys Bay, and everything was illuminated. But the really coolest thing about it was I was freezing, and I could instantly feel the sun upon my face, and it warmed me up. And it just made me so connected to the earth. And when I came home, I painted this painting of Sunrise. And there I am on the beach by myself going out. The little hut, it comes from a story by this guy named Thomas, who said he had built a house there years ago before any other houses were there. And he says it was just his little hut and the waves, and that was all that was there. So that was my memory. So you can see how a great real life experience can cause you to create something wonderful. And so I want you guys to think about that when you're creating that. Whatever you're into, put that into your paintings, and really try to put that feeling in. When you have a great day, that's a great time to sketch and put ideas down, because you might come up with something amazing. So in Sunrise's case, it's been made into so many different products. I got shoes that have been made into it, hats have been made into it. We've got, this is a hammock. This one's really cool, just to show you. This is this water bottle, which you can see. And so this painting has really earned myself and my family more money than any piece of art that I've ever created. And I think that's a good lesson in the business of art. Not everything you paint is going to be wonderful. You have to paint a lot of duds, and then every once in a while you get a hit. It's like a hit song, and Sunrise is my hit song. So enough story. Let's get down to sketching and ideas. For those of you that know the drill, please raise your hand or post a question in the comments, and we'll activate you so you can ask me live. And remember, this is interactive, so please don't be shy. And we're going to get rolling. I'm going to put this.
And Drew, can I just give a quick shout out to a few people, if that's all right?
Absolutely.
So we've got people on from all over the world. Jack Huron Chapman wants to share, and we will get to you in just a little bit. Anybody that wants to share, we're going to get to you. Let's get this rolling first, and then we'll bring you on. So just be patient. And Parker McBride says howdy from Myrtle Beach.
Right on.
Let's see. We've got Kaner Mack. Stoked to be here. Jody Trujillo, aloha from Honolulu.
Yeah.
We've got John Schwantes, aloha from Michigan, and Sam Sherritt from San Clemente, of course. Mario Herrera from San Antonio, Texas. So I'm not going to say everybody's name, but I want to say one more person. Jim said he's so stoked because he surfed J-Bay in 2000.
Right on. It's a special place, and you know, if you're a surfer, it definitely needs to be on your bucket list.
So Drew, let me know when you want me to show the sketch too, because I have that ready to go.
Yeah, get that ready to go.
It's ready. Just tell me when.
Go for it. So everybody, she's going to post the sketch that I did of Sunrise.
I'm going to share the.
And every great idea starts with a sketch. And this right here was a sketch that was done later. This wasn't the very first sketch, but this was one that was done a little bit later. And the very first sketch was a tiny little quick thumbnail. And I do these quick thumbnails just so that I can get these ideas out. But when it's more than just the idea, it's the composition, it's all these type of things. So a lot of stuff goes into a sketch that ends up making a great painting. That's why it's important to do these sketches and get them right until you like them, and then you go to paint. So this is what we're going to do right now. I got my pencil and I'm going to do a quick sketch. So let's go to my thing here. I hope we can see my sketch. I might have to hold it up high. Let's see if I can stand up and do this. So the first thing I want you guys to do is settle on a horizon line. So we don't have to make it exactly like Sunrise, but it's a depiction of this idea. And let me make sure I can get it right like this. And one of the big ones is the horizon line. I always kind of start with that. And so can we see the sketch? So you just do it really loose. And that's just a line across the front, and that's going to set where the horizon line is. Now, I'm not going to make it exactly like Sunrise, and so you don't have to either, but we're going to hit all the base points. And so one of them is the land. So the land is like this little hump like this. Can we see that okay? Yeah, we can.
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay. So you got the horizon line, and then I have the little hump of the sand coming on here. Now, the real important thing is the sun itself. And so the sun, we want the sun to, I'm going to get this land a little bit, about halfway. So you want it to divide that up about halfway. So you can see that right there, where it crosses down into the ocean. Now we're going to do like a really faint sun. And you can do a big one like this, or you can make it a little smaller. something like that. We can see that okay. And that's all it has to be. So don't overdo it. So just get it nice and light. Now the next thing is the wave. And so the wave's going to be a series of humps as well. And I'm going to start it off from this middle point of the land. See, the land is going like this, and now I'm just going to gesture it. So I'm going to go down, and then I'm going to come around and do the wave like this. And so it's one fluid motion. And what that's going to do is this creates like a natural balance to this thing. So I'm going to go ahead and draw it. Now we can make it a really big wave, but I would make it real circular. So you see that? It's almost like one motion off the land. And then this is the back of the wave here. So something like that. Everybody can see that. And then we're going to go, this is the top of the wave that's already broken, and we're going to start humping these down like little half circles. Something like that. All right. Now, this part, we're going to do the lip line. And the lip line is kind of folding over like this. So we want to kind of get that in. You see how that goes like a circle? And then these are little white waters. I just, maybe not time to do that, but like something like this. All right, now we want to round this out. And you can make this a little bigger if you decide, like I want to make that a little bigger and taller. This is the back of the wave. This is the front of the wave. All right, everybody see that? That looks good, Maria and them? Tell me if I'm off balance or if I'm getting out of the frame because I'm not focused.
No, I can see it perfectly. I can.
Okay. Okay. So this is the most critical part of the painting right here. And you see it's almost like a little yin and yang type of thing. So now we know that the land is here, and then we know that this is the lip line. I'm going to do like a little jagged line here that's going to represent the white water. And then I don't know if anybody's ever really seen me draw like this. Let me try to do it so that you can see. And this one's not going to be exactly like sunrise, but this is how I do the fire lip, like the white water shooting off. And look at how just quick I do this. And so this is one of the things, like, to keeping it loose. And you can see that I'm not really trying so hard. This is just a map. So don't be so concerned about getting it perfect. It's more like just, this is just a map to guide you with the color. And so you can see how I just did these little squiggles that make it seem like the idea of where the white water is going to be. And I hope everybody understands that, because what you'll find is sometimes you'll see people that are drawing and they're trying to draw so hard and they're doing this and they're making these dark lines like this, really smooth. I don't want you to do that. I want you to keep it loose, and that's where the magic happens. So this is just kind of this loose sketch. So now what we're going to do is do the inside of the wave, and we're going to make it nice and round. And so if you can imagine, this is like a cylinder. For those of you that took Phil's class, he had that little plastic cylinder that really showed you, that gives you the dimension of the inside of it. And it kind of goes like this, and then each one's just going to be a little smaller, almost like it's just running away from you and down in there. So it's like you're looking into the wave. So I just did 1, 2, and then a third one. Now the same thing, now we're going to do it out. And one of the things that you see, that this spacing right here, I didn't know I did this, but like I started studying sacred geometry and really getting into nature and understanding how nature builds things. And this is roughly about the 1.618 growth ratio of all living things. And what I found is I was naturally doing this within my paintings since I was a kid. And I have this little measuring device which I can do it. So that is like a natural thing that artists pick up of like the way things should look. That it makes a difference between somebody liking a painting and not liking a painting. These little subtle things, and you don't have to measure it, but just be aware that these things are kind of measured out. So the same thing, I'm going to go out, so I want it a little bit wider than that. And so you can see on that sunrise piece, kind of like this. And I'm going to actually angle it up a little bit, and then maybe another one down a little bit further, something like this. You see that? And so if your painting is a little bit down this way or a little up this way, it's not really going to matter a whole lot. You'll just get more sky or more water. Now, what I do want to do, make this a little bit different than the sunrise original, is this is going to be the water line, like almost like this is a wave breaking along the beach. And so I'm just going to do a little squiggly line like this. That represents just the water right on the beach. We can see that okay, honey?
Yeah, you can see it perfect.
Coming together?
It looks great.
All right, so I hope everybody's able to do this. And so right underneath that line, I'm going to make just a little bit thinner line. And there again, this is just a map, and this is kind of like just imagine white water. All right, something like that. I might put like a little bubble, like a little splash. Now the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add like little half round little dots, like where like this is white water where the wave is crashing. Something like that. Now the fun part. Now you don't have to do all the same things that I do. These are just ideas. Now, as a surfer, I dream of just hanging out on the beach all day and living in a little grass shack. That's like every surfer's dream. But you might want something different, like a little VW bus, or maybe it's just like you and your babe or your guy like sitting on the beach. Whatever it is, whatever appeals to you, whatever you can imagine being on this beach. Maybe it's just a dog running on the beach. Maybe it's you know, anything you want. Maybe you're going to put a skyscraper or something, but I'm going to just do my little hut. And so, and I'm going to picture it like being on a little bluff, protected by the storm. And so I just put a little pile of rocks here, like little half moon shapes. And these are all just like real rough shapes, not anything too sophisticated. So it's almost like an upside down V, and then like a little hut, something like this, a door, something like that. Now I love palm trees, so I'm just gonna put some palm trees sticking out, and those are just like lines going out like that. And now what's neat about this, make sure we can see it, is let's do the other side. Make them really thin. You don't want palm trees to be real thick. You want them kind of thin. And you can put one or as many as you want. All they are is like little half moon shapes again coming out. Something like this. This one's going to be taller. Something like this. Something like that. And then underneath that is like all the palm fronds that are dead, kind of hanging out like that, like a little beard. Something like this. But you can see it's just real fun. Like, keep it loose. This is just like the little map. And you might choose to do it just like this, or you might choose to do it a little different. That look like something? Looking good? All right. So then I am going to have my surfer right here. Now, this is me waiting to go out, waiting for this set to go by. So I'm just doing a little stick figure right here with a surfboard. And I'm going to make them a little bit bigger. So he's got a surfboard. And he's standing there. So you see how our sun is like off center, or it's center. So I kind of don't like that. So this is a great thing where I'm deciding to move my sun. I don't want it there now. I'm going to do it over here. So it's like kind of like that. And that's totally okay. And that's how sketch evolves. I was looking at it and it didn't look the way I wanted it to, so I decided to, so I can just do that. Now you could keep yours there if you like it there, but due to what I did with my surfer, I was just like, I think it'll look better a little over here. So everybody seeing that? Now this is one thing that I like. So I do like the little half moon shapes up here, like little bubbles coming off the sun. And this is going to be my first ray, and it's going to go straight up above my surfer and just kind of like a little jagged thing like this, almost like just a little lightning bolt looking thing. And then I'm going to go around and do another one over here. Something this loose. Maybe this one's just off here, and then this one's over here. All right. So hopefully I didn't go too fast. Can we maybe have some input on see how people are doing with this?
Yeah, does anybody have any questions? If you do, there's a couple ways to ask it. You can write it in the chat and I'll relay it to Drew, or there's a spot where you can raise your hand, and if your hand raises, I can bring you on and unmute you.
Yeah. So this step is kind of the crucial step of your painting, of being able to come up with a good idea. So good ideas are worth painting, and bad ideas maybe are a waste of time. So the sketching and learning how to draw and having fun drawing is so important. And there again, I want you to think of like being loose and free, not so rigid. So, you know, by doing these little shapes, you kind of find what's looking good. And then the painting is almost the hard line that a lot of people try to start the sketch with a hard line, but the hard line doesn't come until you paint. So this little map that you created should be nice and soft and gestury. And then from there, you have an idea and you can start detailing it with the pens. All right. So when I'm doing a painting like this, I always start with the lightest color combinations. And so those would be either light blue, white, and light green for the white water, or they would be with yellows. So orange and yellow and white. Get this, and which would be for the sun. So you could start with either one, but I'm going to start with the sun version because that's a good place for us to start. A lot of times I do start with the white water, but I think for this exercise, it's going to be good to start with the sun because it's the center point. All right.
So before you, can I just interject for a second?
Sure.
A couple things people are saying. Just said, you are a great teacher, Drew. Thanks, bro.
All right.
Jail said, I kind of managed to do the sketch, so keep going for me. Santino said, I can't see too well. It is a little, it's pretty faint, but as you start adding color, you know, it'll come into focus.
There you go, Santino. You see that? So you see how loose it is, though. It's just like a little scribble. So it's okay that yours is a little scribble, and just think of it as a really rough map. So it's like shapes and things like that. That helps. I hope that helps everybody seeing it.
And if you have anything to say to Jojo, share it. Jojo says, mine is terrible.
Oh, it's going to turn out great. So if you have a little half circle and you got a little upside down V and a little round thing over here, which is the wave, you're going to be pretty good.
Okay, and then Jojo asked, how do you raise your hand? So Jillian, can you give directions? I know depending on what kind of device you're using, do you mind jumping in on that, Jillian?
Okay, I'm going to start out drawing or painting. So I'm going to start with the sun. Now, this is going to be really kind of fast, so pay attention. And this is why I stress the blending so much. I will start with just the 5mm pens. If this painting was bigger, I would probably use the 7s or 8s. but for this size, the 5s are fine. Depending on what you're painting, you might need to get more pens. We're going to do some surfboards here in the future, so you definitely will need some bigger pens for that. So I'm going to add a red also. And so what I'll do is the darkest color in the color combination is what I'm going to start with. So that's the red. And I'm going to put a little red on each corner. And so these are going to be the darkest places of my sun. And just a little bit, not much. You see that? And then I'm going to take the orange and I'm going to go half in and half out of the red. So you can always hear me say half in and half out. And then I'm just going to go along this line. And so this is my continuation of the sketch with color. And what's neat about the way I paint is the color is just another step. And then I do the final detail at the very end. And it's kind of like a reverse coloring book. So just think of how cool it would be if you could color and then overlay the black line over top. That's kind of what I do. Okay, so I'm going half in and half out. I'm going to expand this a little bit more, something like that. And I'm going right over the pencil line. Sometimes that darkens the color a little bit, but I don't really worry about it too much. All right, so here I'm going to do the same thing with the yellow, half in and half out. And I need to do this while it's still wet. And so I'm going all the way across. Everybody see this pretty good? We've really worked hard on our setup over here to try to make this visible as possible and easy enough to try to teach.
Do you want to tell people what you're using for a table?
Yeah, this is my ironing board. For those of you that don't know, I started using ironing boards a long time ago. My friend Lamarck Longnecker and I would be taking them from the hotel rooms and painting with them. And it's great because it's adjustable. I can go up or down and it holds the surfboard perfectly.
Speaking of painting surfboards, Chris Myers is here right now.
Hey,
surfboard
Chris.
painter.
Yeah, he took my class. He did a beautiful koi fish. All right,
And,
so I did the yellow. Now I'm going to go to white. And so the white is really just going to make this blast out. So this, you notice I'm doing this one round. And the sunrise one, I did it a little bit more like out like this. So from here, I'm going to go around this little sketch of a surfer. And I know he's there, but I'm kind of just covering him up a little bit. And from there, I'm going to use that as a center point to kind of blast out from around it. So like almost like shooting out. See how I'm radiating away from the surfer? And so if you have a little surfer there, a little character there,
It's hard to see. I wonder if you can move the paper so that we can. Well,
there we go.
That's great. Carrie Jackson has a question. Do you do it when it's still wet so that the colors blend? You might have already answered that, but.
Yes, I sure do. That's the number one asked question to me is about blending the colors. And so, yes, you want to do it fast enough to where you're able to blend the colors. And so I'm going to put the white away. And so this is, there again, don't be so hard on yourself. You can see I'm still radiating back out into this yellow. This is just part of the process, and we're going to keep going over this until it looks really cool. All right, you see that? All right, now I'm going to do the sun rays. So on top of the sun rays, I'm going to do more red. And I'll just do one at a time. And I almost look at these like bubbling lava. And so for those of you that don't know, I'm quite into studying the sun and solar physics. And so I study things like, coronal holes and coronal mass ejections and all the crazy things that the sun does. And I think that's why I started doing these things. If you can imagine the sun ejecting material in a coronal mass ejection. But this is just the same way. I'm just, blending the colors together. I'm not trying so hard. I'm just kind of like throwing some colors together like that. And then for this ray, I'm just going on like right atop the orange that I already put down. I'm just adding a layer of yellow on top of it. And so it just gives it almost like a shadowed effect. So there's orange on the bottom and yellow on the top. Something like that. And I'm going to keep doing that. I'm going to add a little more red right here. Well, let's do this one. And this is how every painting goes for me. I'm always just playing with the color, and I work on one color scheme at a time. All right. Something like that. Do the same thing here.
I just want to mention to everyone, with our Posca paint parties, we're posting them on YouTube. So anything that you missed, or if you want to redo one of the paint parties, just go to the Brophy Art Academy YouTube channel and you'll get to see all the replays. So this one should be up by tomorrow, and you can watch last week's as well. And I'm going to put a link in the chat so you can find it easily. And I recommend you subscribe to the YouTube channel so you know when a new one is posted.
So you see, I'm just doing the same thing with every one of these. And I'm imagining the sun going through these trees a little bit. So I'm not really worried about the trees. I know they're there, but I just want to make sure I get the sun ray going like that. And then I'll use that color and I'll go right over top of that. All right. Okay, this is a pretty crucial step, is just getting this first sun going. Now we might add some, splashes of plasma shooting across the sky. Sound effects helps, something like this. All right, so that's already got a lot of energy going, right? And then you can see how that's our focal point. So from there, I'm going to do the next color combination, which is going to be the light blue, light green, and white. And so there's a little yellow on my tip already. I'm not going to worry about it. So this is the top of the wave that's already crashed. So this is along the shoreline right there. I'm going to put a little strip of blue. That shows you where the shoreline is. I'm just going to use this big one because that other one's a little dried out. So I just put like little bits of blue, and then I don't want to put green everywhere. I just want to put a little hints of green. So some are like white blending with light blue and white blending with light green. So there's going to be a little bit of yellow on here, which is fine. It just ends up being part of the painting. And I'm just doing like little semicircles. And I'll come back later with the black line and make these really pop. So something like that. Everybody can see this. I'll hold it up and see how I'm just little semicircles. All right. So then I'm going to think of, this is where it's shooting out. And sometimes I shoot them way out, like it's like coming at you, but I'm just going to keep it a little simple right here. Maybe put just a couple guys like that. And same thing, I'm just going to do a couple little dots of green, not a whole lot, and then mix it with the white. And I'm not worried about the tip of my white marker or pen. Try not to say marker because it is a paint pen, and a marker is more like a Sharpie or something. This is paint inside the Poscas. That's why they work so well. So you could have these guys big or little or shooting out, or, you know, just a big pile of white water, whatever your imagination wants to do. And I really want you to not be so rigid and have fun. And if you, sometimes I turn these into little screaming skulls, and sometimes I turn them into little happy faces. If you've seen a lot of my work, it depends on, you know, what mood I'm in or who I'm painting it for. And so you can really do some neat things. When I'm surfing really big waves, the water looks like scary to me. So I sometimes put scary faces in them. But then some waves are nice, happy, sunny day, and you want to put little happy faces on them. Okay, so this is the line right here is going to be where the white water is forming, where the wave is throwing. So I'm going to just do like a few of these like this. And then I want to do the consistency, this little squigglies I got for the white water that's falling on the top. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but I'll do a couple of them. And so then the same thing, just a couple little spots where I'll put green to mix it up so it's all not blue. And then, so the bottom will be dark with the light blue. And then I'll go half in and half out with the white, like that. And you can see it blends really good. So then you get this shadow effect. This painting I've seen copied so many times, and it makes me so happy. I've seen it painted as murals a lot. So one of them I saw was in the Maldives, and these kids had painted it. And it was really neat just to see that, you know, something that I created inspired people to do something very similar all the way on the other side of the world. And I got to think that that experience that I had on that beach had something to do with it. And as that story gets out, you know, I think people will be more inclined to, you know, want to paint those magnificent moments in their life. It was a real nice connection to the whole universe that morning.
Hey, Drew, Sawyer wants to know if we could get another close-up. So when you get a moment.
Sure.
And Jojo is having trouble saying my light blue does not work. So I don't know if you've got any suggestions on how to deal with a color not working, the
So
light blue not working.
You got to shake it and then press it. Press it. It might be out. You might have used it all. But then you just got to let it drain down. So sometimes, you know, there's mine. This one's a little out too, but I just shook it and now it's working a little better. They last a long time, but they don't last forever. All right, so I want to just do one thing before I do the close-up for Sawyer. I'm just going to add a little bit of white on this other side of this light blue. Something like that. Okay, so I'm going to get it up close.
Good.
So hard, but okay, there we go.
And while you're holding that there, I want to shout out to Dubs. Hey, Dubs, how's it going?
Yeah.
And we have a lot of friends on here. We got Brian Finn, who took your surfboard class.
Yeah.
We've got Ed Schlegel, Keone, Rita, just so many familiar faces. I can't get to them all. We have 86 people on right now.
Oh, that's great, everybody.
86. So if I if we didn't say your name, it's because we've just got a lot of people, but we see you and we're happy you're here. And if
Yeah.
anybody wants to share, please either write it in the chat, or if you can press the little raise your hand button, raise your hand and I'll spotlight you and bring you on.
Let's get a little further before we start bringing people on.
Okay.
And I just want to get them to a place where they feel really comfortable. I know a lot of you are, you know, trying real hard, but just bear with me. So this little line right here is going to be similar to this. It's important that we use the same colors while they're in our hands. We do everything this is a real methodical way of painting. So I have this little whitewater area here that is the shoreline. And this is like the foam along the shoreline. So the same thing is here. You want to put the darkest color in your color combination along the bottom. And see, Jojo, my pen's running out too, so I got my backup big one so I can kind of flow. Something like this. And then same thing, I'm going to add a little bit of green in random places to mix it up. Now I'm going to come here and half in and half out. And just imagine this as being the foam along the shoreline. I love the foam along the shoreline. I love the foam whitewater anyway. If you look at those real slowed down versions of photographs, you know, where they did the super quick timing, you will see that it actually looks like my whitewater. So as a surfer, you know, when you get in a tube or you're riding a wave, it's like time slows down and you're looking at this whitewater and you're like, oh my gosh, you're trying to stay away from it because the whitewater is the thing that knocks you off. So it's like coming for you, like, and you're like in slow motion, like, whoa, trying to stay away from it. But it's so cool looking. It's almost like it's alive. And so in all my paintings, it's like these little, like, you know, little squirts of water, like escaping. All right, so this is shaping up really well. You can see the composition's really cool. All these lines are kind of like focusing in on the center and going, whoosh. These things are coming this way. So this design is kind of, as far as the composition goes, to be, it's designed to be really appealing. So real quick, I want to use my light green pen, and I'm just going to accent the some of these lines so you can see them. And then, so this is the lip of the wave. So you see that? So that wave, my wave's kind of throwing really hard. The sunrise wave is a little more round, but I like big, scary, throwy waves. So I'm missing them. So this is just like accenting my sketch. Okay, now this is the top of that one. That's going there, and this is the top of this one. And I'm doing that just so you can see this for reference for now. I'm not going to do the whole wave right now, but something like that, right? All right, my next thing I'm going to do is the land or the beach. So I'm going to get my brown and my tan, and I got white. So some of you might not have this light orange color or tan color. So you're going to have to maybe use a little brown, white, and yellow, which I'll use a little yellow too, but I'm going to show you, this is kind of the colors that I'm using. And you can actually even throw in some black and some, let me see what else, and purple. So one of the things that I imagine is like up here, this is probably going to be more shadowed, so it'll be darker. And then there's probably going to be a shadow of the surfer. If you see in the sunrise piece.
You want me to pull it up on the screen?
I'll show them right here.
Okay.
So you can see like over here, it's darker. And that really helps the painting because we want this spot right here to be really bright. All right, so that just shows you what it's going to be looking like. And so I want to start with my darkest colors first, which I'm going to do black. And I'm going to put some black right over here. And I'm going to pull that black down a little bit, not too much. I'm not going to make it as dark as the original sunrise. That painting, that sunrise painting was about 4 feet across, so it was a very big painting. I'm going to add a little purple in here. And so every time I blend, I go half in and half out. You'll hear me say that over and over and over again. Don't be afraid to mess up your tips. Now it's still wet. I'm doing the brown. So believe it or not, I'm trying to slow this down for you. I actually paint a lot faster than this. So it's hard for me to go slow. But you can see I'm going like this. And then I'm going to go all the way down to there. And then I'm going to do that. I'm going to go back across because this is still can be lightened up a little bit. Okay, see that? Now I'm going to imagine that there's a little shadow underneath the white water right here. And maybe right here, and maybe just right along the shoreline a little bit. Something like that. All right, now I'm going to take my light orange, and if you don't have light orange, maybe use yellow and a little bit of white. And it looks like there's some kind of green or something on my light orange, but that's okay, it'll blend out. And so while it's all wet, the same thing, half in and half out. And you pull that paint across. And you can see as I go, and I'm going to consistent go this way. So it looks like the beach is running up. All right, so there's all the blending. I'm gonna run this up a little bit like that. And it's, you can see it's picking up some of the pencil line, which is making it a little gray color, which that's totally fine. Happy little accidents, as Bob Ross would say. All right, so that's pretty blendy right there. This pen's a little bit watery. I must not have used it in a while, so shake it up a little bit. Go back down. Okay. Looks pretty cool, huh? It happened fast. Okay, now there's the surfer right there. And so I'm going to add like a little reverse of him, like a little shadow. Something like that. And so I'm picturing that the sun is so bright, it's like reflecting off the beach. So I'm going to put some yellow in there. Not a ton of yellow, but just enough. All right, so it's like, looks pretty good, but now I'm thinking it needs some white to lighten it up, especially along here, along the beach, along the, like the top of the beach where the light's hitting. So now I'm going to add a little bit of white. So you can see I'm using a lot of different colors. I use black, brown, purple, light orange, and white, and yellow. And it's all still wet. So if you're having trouble it drying on you, sometimes you can, just wet that area a little bit with a paintbrush. Not too much, but that'll just a little bit. That'll allow you to blend a little bit longer. Everybody see that? All right. So my next step is going to be on top of the wave here. So I'm going to use my dark blue and my light blue. And I am going to do these little guys right here, which are the top of the wave. And you got to be real careful not to drag your hand through the wet paint here. So you notice I'm on a rolly chair, so I'm rolling around the thing, and I'm always trying to go around my art, and I need to keep this still so you guys can see it. A lot of times I'm moving the painting all over the place too. So same thing as always, I'm using the darkest color in my color combination, which is dark blue. And I'm thinking that might not be dark enough. So I'm going to add a little bit of black in here just to darken it up a hair. And then I can take this light blue. I'm going to clean it off because I don't want any green or anything on it. And this is like just a big bubble. And so then I'm thinking I might need a little white. So this is like the top of the wave, and there's a little bit of yellow on there. I'm not worried about it. So I've added that white. Now I'm going to take the light blue again and then just kind of blend it out. So now you can see why these blending exercises are so important, because I make all these colors right on the canvas. So I'm going to do the same thing for this next little bubble. And then there's one more little bubble right here. So the original Sunrise has like a whole bunch of these. This has like 20 of these or something. I'm just doing 3 to keep this simple. But it's easier to paint something big than it is to paint something small. So that's why we're simplifying this a little bit.
Hey, Phil Roberts is on with us.
No way, Philly
What's
boy.
up, Phil? Phil, you want to show us what you're doing?
Phil's probably already.
No? Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. All right, well, we do have a couple people that want to share. Drew, can we bring on Jody?
Sure.
Okay. All right, Jody, you ready? We're going to bring you on, unmuting and spotlighting. There she is. What's up?
Hey. Oh, cool. That looks great.
So I live in Honolulu. I live up in the hills. And so this is what I see is the hotels, and I see the water, and this is where I sit on top of the hill and watch.
Oh, that's awesome. So yeah, you'll have your whole Waikiki feel there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to share with you. I have a painting that's I did years ago called The Raid on Waikiki. And it's a picture of all these tikis charging the shoreline in Waikiki, and they're on paddle boards and canoes. And then I had another one called South Shore, where there's a tidal wave wiping out Honolulu.
It's so cool. I've been trying to design a tiki painting for my friend. He's in California, and he loves tikis. In fact, his whole property is called the Tiki Place.
Tiki Place.
So I wanted to paint him something and send it over to him as just a hello gift.
Go hang out in the Bishop Museum and paint.
Yes.
They got some cool tikis there.
Yeah, I've been wanting to go there, but now all the museums are closed.
Yeah. Well, you just look them up online. You'll see pictures of them.
Yeah.
Cool. We'll keep working.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Thank you. And then we're going to go to Rita next. Rita Spiegel, if you are ready, you are spotlighted. Hi. How are you?
How are you?
Good to see you again.
Same here. And I just got my paint pens yesterday. So coming from other mediums, this is the first one I've tried. Actually, I tried on my little headband.
Oh, that's great.
So I did that. But so this is.
Oh, that looks awesome.
Thank you. And it's a ceramic tile.
Yeah.
And I only got the blue and the purple set. So the rest is actually Sharpies that I did to get the oranges and the reds and the yellow.
Yeah. So it looks good.
Thank you.
Just imagine what you could do with more colors.
I know.
Well, yeah. You can see how they blend really good together. And so you just go one color after another, and then you can really just start to move it around with the tip. And I think that's really what I'm trying to show everybody, that, you know, this is a really nice way to paint. You know, you can be sitting anywhere and you have your tools, and it worked really good for me because when I was growing up, you know, all the other materials kind of intimidated me. And maybe that's the same thing that's happening with a lot of you. You know, it's kind of a lot of work to set up an area with different types of mediums and then be able to finish it without having to clean it up. You know, a lot of people don't have the space. You can see right here, I'm trying to go around this white water that I put. And so I'm just going around it. I'm going to accent this, but this is the same color combination. I'm just using these little sections to play with.
So we really only have about 5 minutes left. I don't know how this hour went so fast, but I wanted to see if anybody else wants to share.
Well,
Dubs, Dubs is raising his hand. Okay, hang on. Let me get you up.
Hey,
There you
Dubs.
are. What's up, Dubs? Show us what you're
Hey,
working on.
what's up, guys?
Let's see what you're working
Well,
on.
oh, can you see me?
Yeah, we
I
can see it.
you. Let's see your art.
Oh my God, wait a minute. All right, wait a minute. Oh man,
Hold up,
can you see my art?
No, hold up your art.
Oh, there you go.
There's some black and white.
Oh yeah, that looks great, Dubs.
Yeah, there you go. Got the sketch.
Yeah, just a big black line sketch.
Yeah,
Can you show it
black
one more
line
time?
sketch.
Show it one more
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Hold that camera
Hold
still
up.
for a second. Yeah, look at that wave. That's awesome.
Nice and loose.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good
Cool.
on you.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Dubs. Appreciate it.
Okay, you guys. Peace out. Love
Yeah,
you.
man.
Good seeing you, as
Yes.
always.
Well, let's keep going. You know, if you don't mind, honey, we'll just keep working.
Okay.
So I'm going to get my bigger pen so I can go a little faster. And I'm going to do the wave now. And what's important, see how I broke this up into little sections. And let's start with the bigger section because I'll just show you how I do this. I don't worry about all the wave at one time, but just little pieces of the wave. So this is going to be the thing that's closest to you. And so this will be the darkest. So I'm going to put some black down. Looks like I wore that pen out. All right, more black. Now this blend is going to be black to dark blue. And all this will be linear, going the same way with these little lines. And it's good practice to do this big section and then go to the next section. And as you get down to the middle where the detail needs to be, you'll have it wired.
Hey, Drew, your mom's with us. Hi, Mom.
Hey, Mom, I wonder if she can,
You want to show what you're doing?
can we see
She's
your
shaking her
Mom?
head no.
Oh,
Well, I'll unmute you.
He's going too fast. And
He's
then
going too fast.
here it is.
hey, Mom.
Hey, Drew.
This is my mom. She's in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. It's so nice to have you with us. And you can show me what you're painting later.
I need a lot of practice.
Okay. Well, that's what this is all about, Mom.
Yeah, I'm just happy that you can do this with us. It really is. It's really nice that, you know, I know there's people from all over. I'm really enjoying that we're all being able to get together and have fun together. So I'm going to keep going. Same blend. I'm going to do it along here. So that was black to dark blue to dark green to light blue to light green. Same thing. I want to put this right along that line. And this might do like that. And then same thing, half in, half out. Try not to block. There we go. It's hard not to block the camera. Half in, half out, half in, half out.
And I want to let Mike Dimitro know that we shipped your stuff out today.
Hey.
Yeah.
That's
Since
pretty-
you're on here, I thought I'd let you know that. Drew, I packed them all myself, and Drew and I made a trip to the post office together because it's raining, and one of us drove while the other ran in with the packages. And yeah,
Yes.
so Mike, your package was in there.
All right, so that's that. So I'm going to add a little bit of green like this. All right, everybody see that? Now it's still wet. I'm going to do the light blue. I want everybody to get to the point where they're really enjoying blending the colors. And you can see as I go, it blends out. And if you keep the consistency of this stroke going, it really creates a nice painterly effect. I think Phil would be proud of me getting this painterly effect. Phil, I'm going to practice your waves till I get it perfect.
So, you ready to share yet? Shake your head, yes or no.
Where's Phil? So I'm going to
All
add
right,
a little.
I'm bringing him in. Hold on.
Phil,
There he is.
hey, hi. That is super cool. You're stuck on last week's class.
I am.
Well, you know, he's
Yeah.
slow. What can we say?
Did you? I did pretty good with Maria's thing, but I'm gonna do it over again. Let's see. I got Maria's thing. Here you go, Phil. I did all right, huh?
Hold on, let me, oh, there we go.
She had her
Thanks,
cougar
Phil.
outfit on. So that's what Phil taught me.
Awesome.
Not bad. All right, so I'm going to race ahead here and keep going. So I'm still in this light blue. I'm really stoked that my buddy Phil's doing stuff. Hey, Phil, next time we want you to do caricatures. Teach us how to do caricatures.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll talk to you later on about that, Phil.
All right, so I did that one. Now I'm going to do this next little wave. And I'm not going to put as much black in it because I don't think we need it now. This is the dark blue, and I'm going to add dark blue underneath these white waters like they're shadowed. I'm going to add a little dark blue right here and along there.
And then we're gonna have let Jamie share in just a second.
Yeah, let me get this little blend, and then we'll go to Jamie. I hope everybody's doing good, and I know we have to go fast on these things, but we'll be able to watch it again. And really, I want you to get the methodology that I use. You know, everybody has like a different little method that they use to make these go a little bit faster. And it's important that you realize that, like, whether it's myself or Phil or Chris Dyer, that everybody has a little bit different style that they use. And each one of us has found a way to move about a painting that allows us to paint consistently and quickly. So this is the light. I need to do this so you can see it. There you go. So I'm just doing that same thing, half in, half out. So now I'm going to start to change it up a little bit with the color, because I'm imagining the light of the sun coming through the wave. And so you can see this is really kind of coming together. So I'm going to do a little bit of yellow on the next one. And I'm going to go ahead and add it so you know where it is. I'm cleaning off my tip. And so it's going to be inside of here. inside of there and inside of here. All right, so that's where it's going to be. So I'm going to add a little dark. I'm going to go really fast so I can get this done for us. Now I'm going to do the top of the lip. And so I'm putting dark blue underneath the white water. And I'm just kind of following my little map a little bit. Something like that. Something like that. And the same thing, just like half in or just right on the cusp of it. A little dark. All right, so now I want to do the inside of these waves, and I'm going to do them just like this. And so I'm going to come in, I'm going to add the dark blue right here. Pull it a little bit, and I want to make sure that these little areas are separated. And then half in, half out. Light blue. All right, now the light green. I'm trying to keep my hand out of the picture. It's really hard.
I know, I was thinking we might try a different camera angle next time, but yeah. So Glosia Romano said, having this urge to blend with my finger.
That's totally fine, however you do it. So I've seen people that use brushes, and then some people use Q-tips, their finger. There's no rules. You know, this whole exercise is, you know, learning how to get what you want out of this. And, you know, if you need to smear it with your finger to get your little effect and that works for you, great. And when you know, years ago, you got to keep in mind, I've been doing this for almost 30 years, that when I first started, I was trying everything and there was a lot of things that, you know, would work and some things that wouldn't work. But I eventually got good enough where I could do everything with the tip of the pen, which was great. So you can see each step from here to here was all pretty much the same. You know, just blending these colors, this color scheme. And then on the inside, I added the yellow. And so
we have quite a few hands raised.
Yeah, well, let's do it. Let's see what everybody's doing.
Well, I'm going to go to Jamie first.
All right.
Jamie, if you're ready, I'm unmuting and spotlighting you. Say, hi, Jamie.
I see you, not Jamie.
Well, you see me? How'd that happen? Okay, sorry.
Oh, I
guys.
see. There's Jamie.
There we go.
Oh, look at your son. That's great.
And Entree's done so far.
Yeah, that's looking good. So where are you, Jamie?
North Carolina.
North Carolina.
I love North Carolina. I used to go surfing in Wilmington.
Awesome.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
keep
thank
painting.
you, Jamie. Thank you for sharing. That's
That's cool.
awesome. Okay, all right, we're going to go to Kaner Mac. Let's see. Wait a minute. Give me a second. Kaner Mac, are you ready?
There you go. Hi.
Spotlight.
there you go.
There you
Hey,
are.
what's up,
going?
brother?
How
Whoa,
are you?
yeah. Oh, it's looking great, man.
Getting there. I have a lot of work to do.
That's
I
all
love
right.
it.
Yeah, so you can
So
just
much.
keep layering it. So like on your white water, you can add like the white to it a little bit more.
Okay.
And just get, what you want is a real contrast of colors. So dark
Okay.
darks and light lights.
Okay.
But it looks
Perfect.
great.
I'm having
Thank
fun.
you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Appreciate
no
it.
problem.
Awesome. Okay, now we're going to go to Ashley. Ashley, if you're ready, you are up.
Hello.
Hey,
Hi,
Ashley.
Ashley.
Oh, yeah, that looks awesome.
Thanks. This is my first time using this before.
So you having fun?
Yeah, lots of fun.
Yeah, so you're getting the hang of the blends. I can see you did a great job with the main part of the sun.
Thanks.
Yeah.
It's
So
a little streaky in here, so I'll probably go back through it. And I
Yeah.
used a paintbrush for this dark part here, and it blended out really good for me.
Right on. Well, it's looking good. I can't wait to see it done.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to move on to Santino, our longtime friend.
What's up, Santino? Oh, so good, man.
Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah, I had this hand plane. I couldn't get the splash because of the
Yeah.
hole, but it's getting there.
It's looking good, man.
Thanks.
Right
Awesome.
on.
And when are you uploading the shark?
Oh, yeah, I can't believe we haven't posted a picture of the shark. I got both of these done. I'll send it out today. So this was the one I did the other night, and then there's the shark. I'm sorry, I'll post it to Instagram for you, okay?
Okay, yeah, thanks.
All
Cool.
right.
All right. Now we're going to come to our friend Sam in San Clemente. Sam Sherritt. How you doing, Sam?
Good.
You still working on the trash can?
No, I didn't have space for this.
All right. So what are you working? Oh,
Here so far.
dude, that looks so good, Sam. It really looks like it's like off in the distance.
Yeah.
You did a good job, and that's because the way you did those lines off the wave, it really makes it kind of fade back into space. You got your shadow.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks a
Good
lot,
job.
Sam. All right, we're going to go to Mario. Mario,
Hey,
how
Mario.
are you?
Good to see you. Oh yeah, it's looking good.
Cool.
It's so cool just seeing all the different versions of the same idea. And it's just going to be fun just seeing it like unfold. Good job, Mario. What's up, brother?
All right. Michael O'Connor is next, and I think last.
Hey.
I think you're the last, and then we're going to wrap it up in a second.
Hey, how you going?
Doing
What'd
good.
you-
Where are you, Connor?
I'm in Sydney, Australia.
Oh, right on. Welcome.
What
Yeah.
time is it there?
It is just gone 10 o'clock. So I just finished work and came home, and then this started, which is good. 10 in the morning.
Yeah, let's see what how's it
Oh,
going?
I've had to do a bit of a mixture. I'm only a beginner, but I've started.
Oh, it looks good.
Yeah, I'm just doing it on. I couldn't blend the pens that well because it's just a piece of cardboard. It's actually, I'm just using my MRI scan that I got. But,
That's good. Upcycle it.
Yeah. But no, I've got a few canvases, but I thought, mate, this is such a cool thing to do. So try on a piece of paper first, and then have a crack on a canvas later on.
Yeah, and you'll be able to look at it again on YouTube, so that when you're ready to dive in on the canvas, all the info will be there.
Awesome.
Cool. Well, let me show everybody one thing so that they can kind of see this. I'm going to do something in the sky so that everybody can see this unfold. And where's my block? So these sections of the sky here, here, and here are this. I do it the same way. So just like this, we want it nice and uniform, and then bleeding down into the sun. And so what we want to do is make it this the focal point. So I'm going to do dark colors up here. This black is going to blend with blue and really darken it up. I don't have to worry about covering these up. I'm going to try to not to, but these little orange dots. Okay. Now I'm going to take the dark blue and I'm going to maybe go a little bit further down to here. But each one of these I'm going to do just like this. I wish we could have got further along, but I think we all got pretty far and everybody's off to the races, so they kind of are at a point where they can make it their own. But same thing, I go half in, half out, and I'm keeping that stroke mark pointed towards the center of the sun. And what this is going to do is allow this to fade and blend and make it look like the focal point. I'll clean this tip off. Same thing, half in, half out. And using that stroke mark to point to that center point. And we're going to get like a nice, like kind of fade into this. And I'm going to go down all the way to about there. And then I'm going to use the white. And so I want you to do this on every one. And gosh, there's so much more I want to tell you guys, but we're running out of time. Maria's cutting us off. She should make these things 2 hours.
I am the military.
So this right here, as this is wet, you can do these little dots like this, different sizes. And it kind of makes it look like it's radiating out. I'll show that up close. So if you do that on every one of those sections, all of a sudden you have a killer sky. So I'm going to keep working on mine. I want you to keep working on yours, and we'll all post them and see what we get. I hope everybody got something out of this, and I'm just stoked to hang out with everybody.
Yeah.
Starting to really get to know everyone. And let's do it again on Wednesday. We're going to be doing aliens.
Yep. Painting an alien on Wednesday. And then Friday, we're having a special guest artist, Drew Samuel. He's a tattoo artist. He'll be on Friday night.
Yeah.
And then Monday, we have Chad Can't Color. His real name's Chad Carruthers, but his Instagram is Chad Can't Color. And he's really well known for painting shoes, all kinds of shoes.
Yeah.
And so we're going to be painting shoes on Monday.
Yeah. And all these guys are friends of mine who I've met over the years who are successful artists. They've made a living doing art, and they use the Posca pens. And so really what I'm trying to do is just show everyone the possibilities and how people are using pens to make their lives better, and all the different things they paint on. So Drew Samuels is a tattoo artist. He paints surfboards. He paints beautiful paintings with the Poscas. And Chad and I go way back from painting wall surfboards together. He was one of the kids that showed up and wanted to paint boards with us, and he did a great job. And then he took that to painting all kinds of things, and he ended up just hitting it big with doing shoes. And he's done shoes for all kind of athletes, musicians, and just normal people like us too. So somebody's going to win.
Somebody's going to win these, and we'll let you know.
And also,
if you win, we'll email you, or if we don't have your email address, we will shout out on Instagram or somehow track you down.
Yeah, and somebody will win this as well.
Yep, and Drew will sign that for you.
Yeah.
And that's about it. That's all. And if you want to watch any of the replays, go to YouTube and look for the Brophy Art Academy channel. And be sure, if you post any photos, tag Brophy Art Academy, and be sure to thank Posca, because it's worth mentioning over and over again. Thanks to our friends at Posca, we are able to give stuff away, and we're able to bring this to you 3 times a week during this lockdown.
Yeah, it's really nice of them that they pushed us to do this for you, for us, for them, and for you. And it's just been a good thing. It's been a great experience for us. So thanks for joining us.
Thank you all.
See you Wednesday.
Bye-bye.